Hello everyone, welcome back to a drawing of the hyoid bone. As we have said, we have the body, we have the greater cornua ending in tubercles, and we have the lesser cornua, and we have drawn some muscles on the anterior surface of the body. We have drawn the sternohyoid, we have drawn the omohyoid, we have drawn the thyrohyoid, and going up we have drawn the mylohyoid, we have drawn the geniohyoid, and we have drawn the genioglossus. And going over from the body to the greater cornu, we have drawn the middle constrictor and we have drawn the hyoglossus muscles. Apart from that, we have drawn by these two green dots the attachment of the stylohyoid muscle, and to this lesser cornu we have drawn the attachment of the stylohyoid ligament, which is actually suspending the hyoid bone from the styloid process. Now we are left with a few interesting features, one of which is the attachment of the cervical fascia. Now these infrahyoid muscles, omohyoid, sternohyoid and thyrohyoid, these are all covered by the pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia. So if we draw that fascia, we will have to draw it somewhat like this. It is the pretracheal layer of the fascia which is actually enclosing these muscles. So now you have the attachment of the pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia which encloses the infrahyoid muscles. Not only that, to the lower border of the body and the greater cornu, you also have the attachment of the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. So the attachment of both the investing layer and the pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia to the hyoid bone. Now if we draw the posterior surface, we have just drawn the anterior surface of the body of the hyoid and the superior surface of the greater cornu. Now if we move on to the posterior surface of the body of the hyoid, it actually looks somewhat like this. So on the anterior surface there is a median ridge, and this then is the hyoid bone in section, and somewhat below the hyoid bone over here we are drawing the thyroid cartilage. You see, this is the thyroid cartilage, and this is the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage, and to the lower border of to the hyoid bone's lower border you expect the attachment of the thyrohyoid membrane, but it is not so. The thyrohyoid membrane is actually attached close to the upper border on the posterior surface. So this is the attachment of the thyrohyoid membrane, so that immediately behind the body of the hyoid you have a space, and this space is called the subhyoid bursa. You see, you have a space over here. Again, since we have drawn the thyroid cartilage, we are in a position to draw the epiglottis. Suppose we draw the epiglottis. This portion of the epiglottis you can't see, so it is in dotted lines, and now we have come to a portion which you can actually see. So this is the epiglottis, and this epiglottis is attached to the thyroid cartilage by the thyroepiglottic ligament, and from the upper border of the thyroid of the hyoid bone you have the hyoepiglottic ligament. So the hyoepiglottic ligament is attached to the epiglottis from the upper border of the hyoid bone, and the thyrohyoid ligament or the thyrohyoid membrane is attached over here. Now if you draw the thyrohyoid membrane over here to the upper border of the body of the hyoid as well as to the greater cornu, the lateral margins of the thyrohyoid membrane over here, they are particularly thickened, and they may even be called the thyrohyoid ligament. let us draw this actually from below. So it will come from below. This is the thyroid ligament. The lateral margin of the thyroid membrane is thickened. So this is how the hyoid bone actually looks like in drawing, and the muscles that we have drawn going upwards, that is the mylohyoid, geniohyoid and genioglossus, they are going upward like this. Mylohyoid, and then you have the geniohyoid, and then you have the genioglossus. The genioglossus muscle is actually spreading out into the tongue, so it's quite a bulky muscle. Although its attachment of the hyoid does not seem to be much, the genioglossus entire muscle is quite large. So you have the mylohyoid, geniohyoid and genioglossus, and coming down from below you have the sternohyoid, omohyoid and the thyroid. So this is more or less a reasonable drawing of the hyoid bone, and let us see what it looks like in the pictures. So now we are back to our pictures of the hyoid, and again you can see the body of the hyoid with a median ridge, and the greater cornu of the hyoid and the lesser cornua of the hyoid, and you can see that the body is flattened anteroposteriorly and the greater cornua are flattened supero-inferiorly. And in this diagram again you can make out from below the attachments of the sternohyoid, omohyoid and a little bit of the thyroid which is not been drawn over here. And on a deeper plane you can see the mylohyoid, the geniohyoid and the genioglossus, and you can see a small point attachment of the stylohyoid, and you can make out that this large geniohyoid muscle is indented by this hyoglossus. So on the greater cornu towards the outside you have the hyoglossus, and on the inside you have the middle constrictor, and this middle constrictor extends right up to the lesser cornu, and on the lesser cornu in addition you have a small slip of muscle, the chondroglossus. Now if we look at this diagram again, you can see all those muscles. You can see from below the sternohyoid, you can see the omohyoid superior belly, you can see the thyroid, and still on a deeper plane you can see the point of attachment of the stylohyoid which splits to give attachment to the pulley of the digastric, and you can see the fascial layers, the pretracheal fascia over here enclosing these muscles, and the investing layer of deep cervical fascia. So both the investing layer of deep cervical fascia and the pretracheal fascia are attached to the hyoid bone, and going above you can see here the mylohyoid muscle, the geniohyoid muscle, the genioglossus muscle, and you can make out the hyoglossus somewhat indenting the geniohyoid, and you can make out the stylohyoid ligament which is suspending the hyoid bone from the styloid process. And in this diagram you can again see those muscles coming to the hyoid from below. You can see the superior belly of the omohyoid, and you can see the sternohyoid over here. And another thing is that you can make out that this structure, a fibrous band going up from the thyroid cartilage to the hyoid bone occasionally attached, is called the levator glanduli thyroidae. And again from the hyoid going up you can make out the mylohyoid, and you can make out the pulley of the digastric and the stylohyoid muscles. These are the things that you can make out here, and you can see the posterior surface of the body of the hyoid where you have the attachment of the thyroid membrane, the subhyoid bursa and the hyoepiglottic ligament suspending the epiglottis. So the epiglottis is attached to the back side of the thyroid cartilage by thyroepiglottic ligament, and it is suspended from the hyoid bone by the hyoepiglottic